A few weeks ago, I recorded a video about how every holiday season I get reminded about how 15 years ago I almost killed myself over trying to eat healthier, and how it shifted my focus on how I go about healthy eating. But I also remember another experience early on in my healthy eating career when I ran into a funny friend of mine, and it's kind of tragic as well, just like the story I told last week. It's kind of tragic as well. He was very overweight, and he told me about a surgery he was going to get, and I asked him, well, what happens after the surgery? Do you have to do anything about your diet? He says he won't be able to eat too much after the surgery because his stomach will rupture. I'm not sure what kind of surgery this is. I would not condone doing this, so I don't know what it is. Well, I asked him, well, don't you think you should just stop eating so much to begin with if you're going to not be able to eat so much? I mean, it's not like the surgery gave him a license to eat whatever he wants. And he says, well, it's easier if I can't do it. And I had to bite my lips to keep from laughing. I so badly wanted to laugh at that guy, but obviously I was going to school with him. I didn't want to cause a scene, and I had to bite my lips. What was really funny was a couple weeks later we had all gathered together to play some video games, and somebody brought in some pizza, and I excused myself because at the time I had only started eating healthier. It was too much temptation for me, and I packed up. And my friend said, what are you doing? The friend who was very overweight. And I said, you know, this is too much temptation, let's go. And he told me he wanted me to learn a little bit about control, that I could eat a few slices without going overboard. And which is really funny because why would I make myself more uncomfortable by having to control when I could just excuse myself and go home and do something else that I actually enjoy doing? You know, that the whole idea of control, it's kind of like trying to walk a tightrope, in my opinion. And then to add on top of that the insult of having him tell me, you know, if I had somebody who really was good at practicing control tell me about it, it would make a whole lot more sense, right? And this is really tragic that he was telling me all these stories, and he doesn't seem to be able to put two and two together. Sorry, I'm recording this in the mountains. But this is really tragic. He ended up having the surgery, and I don't know what he's up to these days. He's certainly not a very popular guy. I hardly heard from him ever since then. This is really tragic that he tells me about wanting me to exercise control when he needs surgery to control himself. And I saw right through it. It just makes me realize that whenever somebody tells me any sort of advice, whether it be healthy eating advice, whether it be dating advice, whether it be financial advice or anything like that, the first thing I check is how well they are practicing it on themselves.